This piece is one that I worked on exclusively during the pandemic when we all were sent home, which I started it at home and I finished it at home. So I feel like it kind of has its own history in that sense. But yeah, my thesis was about the concept that we have a lot of plastic in our oceans and how they're often mistaken for like prey by sea turtles, and they look like jellyfish. So I kind of played around with the concept that plastic bags are the new jellyfish, and they developed into a new species. I kind of called the whole series that I did new species, like I had my hermit crabs too. But yeah, and you can see I have an interest in transparency when I paint, where I like to play with how plastic would look underwater with light shining through. So yeah, I just...
I think with this piece, my favorite part is that smiley face, because you can't distinguish if it's part of the bag or part of the tendrils coming down inside of this organism. I think you nailed that kind of duality between the two.
Exactly.
I agree. That was my favorite part.
It was important to play with the symbolism that people recognize on plastic bags.
It's also kind of like it's like a half smile. It's like kind of uncomfortable of a smile.
Yep,
exactly. I think that's a good little diary entry.
This is a really strong piece, Emily. Really
well, thank you.
Emily, I really like your idea of working with the plastic as a new species. I've been thinking about, maybe you've been thinking about this too, about this huge step backward that we're taking right now because we're not allowed to bring our recycled bags into stores.
Yep, and then people are using one-time use plastic gloves, as they sort of should be, but it's also falling apart because people are disposing them improperly, and it's just adding to the litter crisis that we already have.
Yeah.
You said you had other images where plastic was integrated with species. Do you have some of those to show?
Yeah, if you go back a little bit on the gallery, like these are my hermit crabs, playing with the idea that hermit crabs are taking actual plastic trash they find on beaches and living in them instead of seashells, which is incredibly unsafe for them. But it's almost got a humor concept to it, like, oh, LOL, I recognize all of these things. Like the Bud Light can is probably the most recognizable on our own campus. You kind of see those everywhere. But it's an unsafe home for these hermit crabs.
I love this theme. It's very important. I mean, these are great.
Thanks.
I think it's interesting the way you balance kind of a serious theme and then kind of put your own humor into it. I don't know how that works, but I think it's interesting.
Thanks.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You have kind of a biting theme of, this deteriorating environment, and then the humor takes it someplace else. I'd have to think about it. And this is new to me. I haven't seen it, but I really like the last piece.
Thank you.